Good morning. Welcome to a warm, humid day in Oklahoma. And along with the warm and the humid, I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm sitting here thinking, why am I drinking hot coffee when the sweat is about to run off of me right now already? It's just one of those habits that we have. And it's a pretty good tasting habit too. Good morning, Becky. Welcome to my front porch. I'm a few minutes late because I was trying to research something. As norm for me, right at the last minute, I think of something I want to look up. And so that's what I was doing. I had read a quote some time back, and I copied and pasted it in my notes. And it's attributed to Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. Now, in my looking up about Oliver Wendell Holmes, he was considered a fireside poet, which is kind of funny because in my description for Jean's Front Porch Fellowship, I think it says something about fireside chats. Well, there's no way I'm comparing myself to Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. I can trust you. I'm not doing that. But I also read that when I first pulled it up, I pulled up Oliver Wendell Holmes, and I didn't pay attention that it said junior instead of senior. And a little trivia for you this morning, a little insight. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. was one of our great Supreme Justices. Now, I did not know that, but I learned that this morning. But his father, Holmes Sr., was considered a fireside poet. He had many, many writings that were attributed to him. And this quote is attributed to him, and I wrote it down because it just, I don't know, it stuck with me. And this is what he said. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail, sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it. But we must sail and not drift, nor lie at anchor. Wow. Read that again. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail sometimes with the wind, sometimes against it. But we must sail and not drift nor lie at anchor. What's he saying here? He's saying, you know, if we're going to make it to heaven, we got to keep moving. Anybody remember the old chorus? You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. Oh, that dates me, doesn't it? That really dates me. Well, that's what Holmes was saying here. Is to get to heaven, you gotta be moving. And you're gonna have wind. You're sometimes gonna sail with the wind. Sometimes you're gonna have to sail against the wind. But you must sail. You've got to keep moving. And so I was looking about sailing in the Bible. Well, there are more references in the book of Acts to the word sail than any place else in the Bible. It's mentioned a few other places, but mainly the book of Acts, and mainly attributed to the Apostle Paul, because he seemed to be our guru about sailing when it comes to sailing. And I read in Acts chapter 14, let's just go back and start with verse 23. And when they had ordained them elders in every church, and had prayed with fasting, they commended them to the Lord on whom they believed. And after they had passed through Sidon, they came to Pamphylia, and when they had preached the word in Perga, they went down to Elisha, and thence sailed to Antioch, from whence they had been recommended to the grace of God for the work which they fulfilled. Now, it doesn't tell us how long that journey took, but I did look it up, and it was a little over 300 miles. That's quite a distance for them to travel. But they were ready to go home. Antioch was the home church. This was Paul's basis, was Antioch. And so he finished his work at Attalia, if that's the way you pronounce it, and he went home. He set sail. They sailed. Attalia was a port city. It's known for that. It was right there on the port, and it was a port city. So he got on ship there, and he started home. We don't have a lot about that journey here. It does say that when they were come and had gathered the church together, they rehearsed all that God had done with them, and how he had opened the door of faith unto the Gentiles. And there they abode long time with the disciples. It doesn't tell us anything about the journey to get there. It doesn't tell us how long it took them to get there. Just that they went home. We have many accounts of journeys that Paul took. We know how he was shipwrecked at sea, and we know, all the stories that we've read in the book of Acts. This particular one doesn't give us detail. All we know is that Paul was going home. And it was a long ways. But according to Holmes, his quote is, when you reach the port of heaven, and can I just say, to reach home, that's kind of what I would say about Paul here. To reach home, he sailed sometimes with the wind, sometimes against it, but he had to sail. He couldn't drift. You know what happens when you drift? You just go whichever way the wind takes you. That's why we don't drift. My daddy wrote a song before my time, I guess. And I used to sing it when I was a little girl. And it was called Drifting. And it talked about a person just drifting down the sea of life. Sadly, drifting usually doesn't get you where you want to go. You drift when you have no goal. You drift when you're just aimlessly, if you're on a floating trip, or you're just out for a day of leisure on the water, and the water is calm, and you just turn loose of everything, and you just let the boat drift. It means you don't care where you're going. I've heard people say, well, we're just drifting down the sea of life. If you're drifting, you could end up anywhere. Because when you're drifting, you go the way the water flows and where it takes you. If we have a goal, we have an exact destination in mind that we want to get to, we can't afford to drift. We have to sail. We have to set our sail. Sometimes we sail with the wind. Sometimes we have to sail against the wind. But we must sail. Not drift, and not put our anchor down and lie at anchor, or you'll never get there. You and I will never reach heaven just drifting. I look at the church world today, and sadly, I see much of the church today just drifting. There's a song, let me see if I can pull it up. I would imagine I could. Somebody's probably already thinking of this song. Some of you singers. It's written by Dottie Rambo. It says, I was going down for the last time, and no one heard my cry. My voice was swiftly fading, drifting with the tide, when a hand from out of nowhere gently slipped in mine. And I thank God he found me just in time. I don't remember drifting, 'cause pleasure rode with grief. When careless winds start blowing, you drift so easily. And storms make no exceptions. And friend, I've sure had mine. And I thank God he found me just in time. Just before the waves of slumber had rocked my soul to sleep. Just before the angry billows had pulled me out too deep. God knows how long I drifted when I saw the old lifeline. And I thank God he found me just in time. You see, if you and I want to make it to heaven, if that's your goal, it's my goal today. My home. I haven't sang it in a long time, but I like the song. It says, my home is just around the bend. I think about it now and then. Reunions by the millions. I just forgot they were over there. And the one that I so long to see is the one who bled and died for me. My home, a place I long to be. Well, heaven is my home. I'm en route there. And I can't get there by just drifting. I must sail towards home. Sometimes with the wind. There are times the wind is at my back. And the Lord is just helping me. And I'm just going there. Then there's other times when the wind is blowing at me. And I have to buck the wind, so to speak. And I have to sail against the wind. But nevertheless, I must continue sailing. What are you doing today? Are you sailing or are you drifting? To make it home. See, when Paul set sail to make it to Antioch, he was headed home. That was the home of the church. They were first called Christians at Antioch. That was the beginning of the church. And Paul was headed home. I guarantee you, they didn't just drift. they set their sails with one purpose, one destination, and that was to reach home. I have one destination this morning, and that's to make it home. I'll do some sightseeing along the way. When I travel, I have a destination. I don't just think, okay, I mean, I might do it someday, but so far when I get in the car and I back out of the garage and I set my GPS, I have a destination. It's not like, okay, I'm going to drive for the next 1,000 miles, but I don't know what direction I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to end up at. I just haven't done that yet. When I leave home, I have a destination. Now, granted, I might do some sightseeing along the way. I remember my first trip to Colorado. I remember seeing signs for Kit Carson, Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane. There were things, and I would pull off and check those little sites out. But I always got back on the road and headed for Denver. I had a destination in mind. And on this journey, that I'm on today, the songwriter said, I have but one goal. I'm headed to heaven. I may view the sights along the way. Sweeter gets the journey every day. But I'm still have my sails set. And I'm headed home. Sometimes with the wind at my back. Sometimes with the wind blowing against me. But I am determined. I've set my sail for heaven. That's my eternal home. You know, as the years progress, coming up, you know, in just a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, not quite a month. If the Lord lets me live till the 16th of July, I'll be 71. Man, I never dreamed. When I was in my 20s and my 30s and 40s, I never dreamed of what it would be to say I'm 71. But I've started out as a little girl with a destination in mind. I set a goal, and that was to make heaven. That has not changed. My goal has not changed. My destination has not changed in these 60 years plus that I've been living for the Lord. I've had one goal, and that's to make heaven. Sometimes the wind has been at my back. Sometimes the wind's been blowing in my face, and it's been hard, but I kept sailing. I don't intend to stop now. I don't intend to just drift and see where the water takes me. I've set my sail for home. Let me read you again what Holmes said in his quote. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail, sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it, but we must sail and not drift nor lie at anchor to reach the port of heaven. How about it this morning? Do you have your sail set? Do you have a destination? Are you willing to go with the wind at your back or the wind blowing against you, but continuing to sail. I want to reach heaven, don't you? Just some random thoughts this morning. Thinking about that quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. just got me to thinking about it. And I wanted to share that with you this morning. God bless you today. We're still in Oklahoma. It's been the longest I've been home for quite a while, and I still will probably be here another couple of weeks or so. Well, maybe longer than that before I really hit the road again. So, I could be here Thursday. Then again, I could be in who knows where Thursday. You'll just have to check back and see. God bless you. Set your sails and keep sailing. Don't drift, but keep sailing. And one day, you know, I'm sure that journey from, let me look back here, from Atalia, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, to Antioch was quite a journey. Quite a distance. But Paul was going home. And he didn't dare let him just drift. He said, boys, we got a destination to go to. And even if the winds are against us, we'll buck the wind and we're going home. Can I tell you this morning? If we have to buck the wind, so to speak, set your sail. We're going home. God bless you. Have a great day. It's Taco Tuesday. Guess what? We're not having tacos tonight. We're having hot dogs. So that's the plan. Chili dogs. We're having chili dogs tonight. So if you want a chili dog, drop on over. I got plenty. God bless you. I love you. Until I see you again, keep sailing on.